Hi everyone, I'm going to do a quick video just to show you some examples of how to do the DeltaMath problems. I'm going to do two problems from each section. So I'm going to start with the first section, finding increasing or decreasing domains. This problem is asking me to determine the domain on which the following function is increasing. So to figure out where the function is increasing, I'm going to make sure I follow my function from left to right. So I'm going to start all the way on the left of the U-shaped function where I see the arrow, and I'm going to move my cursor along this line. Now I notice that my cursor is going down, so that means in this section my function is decreasing. I need to figure out where it's increasing. So I need to pay close attention and see when does it start to increase. Now I see now my cursor is going up now. So that means on this section of the graph, on the right side of the graph, the function is increasing. Now, in order to describe in my answer where the function is increasing, I need to use x values to describe this. So again, if I move my cursor along, I see the exact spot where it starts to increase is right here. And I need to look at the x value at this spot. So I go up to my x-axis and I see that it starts to increase when x is 4. Okay, now I need to think, okay, well, when does it stop increasing? So it starts at 4 and it keeps going and going and going. Well, I see this arrow means it's going to keep increasing forever. So it's increasing for all of the numbers to the right of 4. So to write this using my inequality notation, I need to use the format x is greater than. So I'm using x because I'm talking about x values, and I'm using the greater than symbol because I'm talking about the fact that it's increasing to the right of a certain number. In this case, it's to the right of 4. So the greater than symbol is used to tell that it is increasing for everything to the right of 4. So x is greater than 4 is the interval where the function is increasing. And that's correct. Let me do another one. I'm going to get one that's decreasing just to practice. Sorry about that. No, I want one that is asking me for a decreasing interval. Okay, here's a good one. So this one says determine the domain on which the following function is decreasing. So again, I need to follow my function from left to right. So I'm going to start all the way on the left. Now you might notice that this one doesn't have an arrow. It has an end point, so I'll have to keep that in mind for later. But I'm still going to start wherever the graph is on the left and follow it to the right. My cursor is going up right now, so that means it's increasing. I need to know when it's decreasing. So I need to pay attention to when I'm following the graph and my cursor starts to go down. I see now that my cursor is going down on this right side of the graph. So I just need to figure out where exactly did it start to decrease. So again, if I'm following it from left to right, I see that at this peak here is where it begins to go down and decrease. So again, remember, I'm always using x values to describe my increasing and decreasing intervals. So at this peak, I need to figure out what is the x value here. So I'm going to go down to my x-axis and see that this is at the x value of 5. So now I know that my graph starts to decrease when x is 5. Now I need to see when does it stop decreasing. Well, it's going to stop decreasing at this endpoint. This one does not have an arrow, so it does stop decreasing at the value of 11. So I'm trying to tell in my answer, I'm trying to say that it is decreasing between the x values of 5 and 11. So in order to do that, I'm going to have the double-sided inequality where I have x in the middle and two inequality signs around it. And then I'm going to have my far left number, which is 5, and my bigger number on the right, which is 11. So I'm going to start with 5 because I'm saying it starts decreasing at 5. Now I always use the less than symbol when I'm talking about where it is increasing or decreasing between two numbers. And then I always have x in the middle because I'm talking about the x values. I have another less than sign, again, because I always put the symbols in this direction and in this order when I'm talking about increasing or decreasing between two numbers. And then I need to write, where does it stop decreasing? Well, the graph stops at 11, so that's where it stops decreasing. So this is saying that this function is decreasing between the x values of 5 and 11. And I'm correct. There we go. All right, now I'm going to go back and do a problem, or two problems from the average rate of change. This says the function is y equals f of x is graphed below. Plot a line segment connecting the points on f where x equals -7 and x equals 3. Use the line segment to determine the average rate of change of the function f of x on the interval -7 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 3. Now, this is just a lot of words. That is basically just telling us that we need to find the average rate of change between the two x values, -7 and 3. So I want to look at my graph, find -7 for x, that's over here, and 3, that's over here. Now I need to find the points on my graph, okay, at x equals -7 and x equals 3, and I'm going to connect them with a line. So I always start with the point on the left. So at x equals -7, I need to find the point on my graph, not on the x-axis, on the actual curve. So here's the point on my graph at -7. And then, oh yeah, I'm looking for where x is 3 on my graph. That's where I need to connect it because it's saying to look at the average rate of change between -7 and 3. So I need to extend this to 3. Now I'm not going to stop here because this is on the x-axis, but it's not touching my graph. I need it to touch my graph at x equals 3, the curve. So I'm going to plot that here. So now I have a line segment connecting the points on my graph at x equals -7 and x equals 3. Now I need to find how is y changing between these points and how is x changing, and then I'm going to divide them to find the average rate of change. So to find how the y is changing, first of all, it's important to notice that between the left point and the right point, it's increasing. So I'm going to have a positive number for my change in y. Then I need to just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up gets me from my first point to my second point. So it takes 6, but oh wait, I just noticed something. My y-axis is counting by 5s instead of 1s. So I'm going to need to actually count my y values by 5. So every square I'm going to count by 5. So sometimes you need to be careful and notice that. So it's actually going up by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now I am in line with the second point. So my change in y is a positive 30. Now my change in x, now that I'm up here, I need to count to the right and figure out how much the x values change. And as you can see, the x values are going by 1. So I can count by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my change in x is 10. Now to find my average rate of change, I just need to divide the change in y divided by the change in x. So 30 divided by 10. And if you need a calculator, you can use it. But I know that's going to give me an average rate of change of 3. And looks like I'm right. Let me see if I can do one more problem. Let's do a different one. 1 to 2. Sorry, I'm trying to find one that's a little more different. Okay, this one's good. Okay, so now I could read all this over again, but really what I just need to focus on is what are the two x values they are asking me to look at. It's telling me the same exact thing the last one did, but this time it's saying to look at where x is -5 and where x is 7. So that's what we're trying to find the average rate of change between. So again, I'm going to find the point on my graph at x equals -5. Now in this case, my graph is actually on the x-axis at -5, so I am going to click here, And then I'm trying to find the point on my graph where x is 7, which is right here. Now I need to find my change in y and my change in x. Now it's important to notice that the line is decreasing between these 2 points. So my y value, my change in y, is definitely going to be a negative number because it's going to be decreasing the y between my left and my right point. So if I start with my point on the left, how much do I need to go down to get to this point? Well, I only need to go down by 1. So my change in y is -1. And then my change in x, I just need to count horizontally left to right. How far do I need to go to get from the left point to the right point? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, guys, I just noticed something. So again, this is like a little tricky that you need to notice this. My y-axis is again counting by 5s. So actually, when I said it was going down 1, it's actually going down 5. So this should be a -5. It's okay if sometimes you make a mistake and realize that you need to go back and fix it. So it should be a -5, and then it's changing in the x by 12. So now my average rate of change, I just need to divide them. That's -5 divided by 12. I think I can leave it as a fraction. Yep, it's totally fine to leave it as a fraction. -5 divided by 12. All right. Okay, I hope this video helped, and hopefully this helps you to complete your DeltaMath.